And the good news is that is actually witnessing the mind doesn't say anything. Not a thing. So if you think it's me that's witnessing the mind, the me's going to have plenty to say about what's being witnessed. Plenty. That's why I sometimes use that pointer. Seeing doesn't comment on anything. Not a thing. Hearing doesn't comment on a thing. Nothing. Not a thing. Then the mind steps in and overlays a big story about the seeing or the hearing. And then we take the story to be that that's seen or that that's heard. We take the story to be that that's seen and that that's heard. It's to the direct experience of seeing and hearing. And it can take a bit to see that because that's apparently what's been happening our whole life. It can take a moment to see it. You know, what goes hand in hand with I am this is I am the thinker. Hand in hand. I am the thinker. That's why I said a moment ago, stop it. Just stop it. How many psychologists do you think we'd have on the planet if it was just a matter of stopping it? Really, like, they'd all be out of a job. I've said before, and I'm sure everybody here would agree, you know, if I was really in control of what happened up here, I'd have nothing but blissful thoughts. Wouldn't you? Really? We would. We would. If I really had free will, oh my God, would my life have been different? If I really had free will. How many of us get to this point, sitting here, and go, yep, my life panned out exactly as I planned it to. Exactly. And so it should. I have free will. It's a we don't realize that and it gets put there by religion, which is incredible. But the idea of I have free will implies I am God. Can do anything. 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 Nothing would get in your way. Zero. Because you have free will. You can alter everything. Even resistance you came across. If you had free will, you'd be able to work out exactly how to maneuver through that. Exactly. In a heartbeat. Boom. I have free will. I can get people to think exactly as I want. Because I have free will. I'm in charge. I'm calling the shots. Here and out there. There is born the self-center. I have free will. There is born the self-centered. When all evidence is to the contrary. all evidence is to the contrary. You still walk around believing, no, I have free will. Look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. I am the thinker. Look at the evidence. Just look at the evidence. I often call this a fact-finding mission. A fact-finding mission. All right, let's look at the evidence. I'm claiming there's a me here. All right, let's go looking for it. Where is it? Where is it? Like the first time we hear that question, it throws us back. What do you mean? Where is it? It's never even been pondered. Just an assumption that it's somewhere here. And then when you challenge it, mind will start saying, or me will start saying, well, I'm the body. That's so easy to disassemble. That idea, I am the body. This is my body. Buddy, no. This is my body. First we'll say, I am the body. I am the body. You have to have a little bit of a look at that. It'll change. Well, it's my body. Okay. Where's this my located that's claiming ownership of the body? Where is this me located that's claiming ownership of the body? Where is it? My thoughts. Where's the thinker? Can you find it? That's creating the thoughts before they get thrown into consciousness and you become aware of them. Indeed, if you were creating the thoughts, why would you even need to throw them into consciousness? So that you can hear them or see the images or whatever. If you're creating all that, why would you then need to throw it in there to then be seen? Because you're creating it before it happens. So easy to just come back to the truth. Is what I think true? Is what I think true? That'll change to, is thinking true? What is thinking? We go to that. What's a thought? We'll go to that. Then we'll say, oh, well, then we'll come up with it's an energy. Just an energy, just a movement of energy. Yeah, okay, good. Now, where are you in relation to that? That knowing, where are you in relation to that? See, at the beginning, we don't know any of this. Then after a while, keep turning up, turning up, turning up. And then a knowing starts to appear. A knowing, I am not the body. I am not the thoughts. I am not the doer. A knowing starts to, that was never there before. Never there. Never there. So, this that I constantly keep pointing at can be known. It can be seen. But notice, I don't point to what you are. I keep pointing to what you're not. That needs to be disassembled. Has to be. And the only thing you can use to do that is the truth. It's the only thing. The false won't stand up to investigation. It won't. It won't. False can't stand up to the truth. It can't. It's false. It's a completely different line of questioning to that we're used to questioning in the seeming world out there, about ourselves or about the world or others or ideas or beliefs or assumptions, concept. This is a completely different line of questioning. Everyone that's sitting here today, this is resonating with. Don't be fooled that it's resonating with the personal me. It's not. The personal me has a terrible hard time with this. A terrible hard time with this. And we just keep dismantling that. Dismantle it, dismantle it. What is it? What is it? It seems to be like the last vestige of this seeming me. And it's the hardest one to see. Is the one that says, yep, I can see I'm not the thoughts. Yep, I can see I'm not the body. Yeah. I must be getting close. That's the one you need to see. That's the one you need to see. Who said that? How did that arise? Where did that arise? That arises just as thoughts, just like all the other thoughts that you've now become aware of. Now you need to become aware of this. It's a really close, it's a close personal I. It's the one that believes it's sitting here right now, trying to discover what it is. That's the one you need to see. That one. Because the one that's trying to discover what it is believes it lacks. It lacks. And I'm separate. There's a big world out there. I've been on this non-dual path for such a long time. What do I need to hear to finally get this? That's the one you need to see. What is that? It's amazing that that one gets overlooked. The only thing that's going to have questions is the personal me. The only thing that's the seeker is the personal me. The only thing that thinks I must be getting close is the personal me. Now, what is that personal me? What is that? The shift has to be made. You can't keep assuming that this personal me is here and real. Can't, because it's that one that needs to be seen. Seeing that you're not the, garden variety thoughts that have been going round and round and round and round in our heads for such a long time. Seeing that's easy. That's easy. All happens as thoughts and images. And, that's relatively easy. And then there's a me pattern of thoughts, which we constantly keep overlooking, assuming it's real. And I just gave it away. It's just a me pattern of thoughts, no different from all the other thoughts that we now believe we're aware of. It's no different. Still arises as a thought. I'm still trying to get this. I hope I can get this soon. What have I missed? That's the me pattern of thoughts, arising as a pattern of thoughts by itself, with all the other thoughts. And then the me pattern of thought says, oh, I can't stand these other thoughts that go on in my mind. They're all thoughts. The seeker is completely imagined. There is no seeker. It's not an entity. It's not a person. The only thing that is seeking is mind. See that. See that. See that. You have the capacity to see that. The amnesia pointer. Yeah. Where's the seeker now? Where's the seeker gone? You don't even know that there was seeking. You just kind of all of a sudden find yourself here with no backstory, no memory, no thoughts, no meing, all gone. Where's the seeker now? Didn't even know there was seeking happening. No idea you're on this spiritual non-dual path. None. And what have we eliminated? Only a backstory. Yeah. Mind is seeking. It's only mind that is seeking. And it's looking for a thing or an object or something. Something. It's looking for something. Then we come back to what can a thought experience? We now come to see that it's mind that's seeking. All right. Now, what can a thought actually experience? Nothing. You can't experience anything. If you can't experience anything, what hope has it got of finding anything? What hope? And here's the primary thing we miss. And you'll kick yourself and laugh when it's no longer missed. You're conscious of all of this. Everything that was just said. Conscious of your own thoughts. Conscious of feelings. Conscious of the mind and what it's doing. You're conscious of all of this. And why is that statement bland? Because this consciousness we've referred to as me. Me is a thought. Me can't experience consciousness. A thought can't experience consciousness. Yet conceptually, the mind knows that's what it's after. I'm trying to find consciousness. And yet here we are, conscious of all of that. Conscious of it, all of that. We just need to dismantle this idea that it's me that's conscious. It's me that's aware of all of that. That me, it's saying it's me that's aware of it, is a pattern of thought. If we remove that pattern of thought, there'd be nothing to say. Me would be saying nothing. Nothing. That I, me, mine, my pattern of thought I'm referring to. It's just a pattern of thought. We keep taking ourselves to be that. Constantly keep taking ourselves to be that, to be that, to be that. And we are conscious of that. Conscious of that. And this that is conscious of that is not the me. We are conscious of the me. How can it be the me? We're conscious of it. Now it's just a matter of seeing that this me, this personal self, is merely a pattern of thoughts. That has convinced itself, it's seeing, it's hearing, it's tasting, it's touching, it's smelling, it's thinking, it's speaking, it's thinking. And right there is when I go, okay, so little old me, if you're responsible for the thinking, stop it. It's very quickly discovered this little old me can't stop anything. All it does is bitch and complain and whine and moan about what is. That's all it does. It's like a petulant 4-year-old hiding in a seeming adult body. It really is. It's amazing. The adults just learn skills to hide it because it learns it's not socially acceptable to be outwardly behaving like a 4-year-old. And yet that's what the mind is and how it behaves. You just have to see it. Just see it. Watch it stamping its feet and chucking a tantrum. It does all day long. All day long. It's not okay that this is happening. It's such an absurd statement. Why? Because it is happening. Oh, yeah, but it's not okay that it's happening. But it is happening. And you kicking and screaming and saying it's not okay will not alter one iota what is happening. Zero. I think by complaining about it or it's going to change anything. See what's happening. See. Just see what's actually happening. You'll start to see there's no seer seeing what's actually happening. There's no hearer hearing what's actually happening. Whilst it feels like there's a seer seeing what's happening or a hearer hearing what's happening, what's being seen or heard is not real. What gets seen is a concept, an idea, just a concept, just an idea. That gets taken for the seeing or the hearing. Is there seeing and hearing? Yes. Yes, absolutely. There is seeing and hearing. And one would need to be conscious for the experiencing of that. Because unless you're conscious, nothing gets experienced. Then it becomes a direct experience of seeing and hearing. All the senses come alive. All of the senses come alive, like they come online. They're no longer being filtered through this. Yeah, that's a tree. So? It's a tree, yes, so? Filtered through mind. The tree's not seen at all. Not at all. What gets seen is what the mind says about that. Yeah, it's a tree. That's what gets seen and heard, not the tree. How many of us are aware of space? Space. Mind is not geared to notice space. Mind only notices things in space. We don't notice space, without which there'd be no things. Space, without which there'd be no things. Yet we give priority to things, not realizing the magnificence of space. We don't notice it. All mind does is use a concept of space to be the medium of which duality can operate. I am here and the tree is over there. We don't notice the space at all. We think space is, conceptually we go, space is a no thing. It's nothing. There's nothing between myself and the tree. Just space. A no thing between myself and the tree. Not realizing that it's space that connects everything. The very, very first thing you see when you wake up in the morning is space. How many of us see that? How many of us see that? We don't. We don't even notice it. Mind attaches itself to things. It's dualistic. It has to attach itself to things. Wake up, you look at the clock. Oh, I've slept in. Whatever. You know. Dive out of bed, into the shower, reaching for the taps, a thing, adjusting the shower, what do you call it? Anyway, a thing. Get out of soap. Like, people don't use soap much these days, do they? I still do, but anyway. Out of the shower, grab a towel, a thing. We miss the space. We miss it altogether. We already think we know what that is. It's nothing. No significance. Yet if you removed it, all things disappear. All things disappear. Thanks, Donna. There's so much we miss. There's so much we miss. We're all walking around living in an imaginary world, our own little imaginary world. And we're missing the world. We're missing the essence, the consciousness in others. We miss it. We see the person as a thing. And then we make up stories about that thing. Just see. See whether or not what I'm saying is true. Look for yourself. Just look for yourself. Look for yourself. Then it's yours. I can't give you anything. I can't teach you anything. Nothing. All I can do is point and encourage you to look for yourself. This is not a teaching as such. It's an unlearning. I'll open it up and let's see what happens. I'll shut up for a moment. Let's just see what happens, if anything. Here's an opportunity to see what happens, what's actually happening. I haven't a clue. No thing is happening. Sometimes you'll hear teachers say, nothing is happening. Nothing. Nothing is happening. There's nothing happening. Seeing's happening right now, but it's not a thing. That's why you can say, no thing is happening. No thing is hearing. Hearing is not a thing. Unless the mind steps in and catch it, says, yeah, but I'm the hearer. I'm the seer. It's hilarious when you catch it. Catch it. The mind can't see. The mind can't hear. Is there seeing and hearing happening? Yes. See. Things, seeming things, only arise in the mind. Outside of mind, there's no things. No separation. The first thing you'll start to notice as this starts to dawn is fear starts to leave. Just starts to leave. All of a sudden, you won't kind of even really notice it. And one day you'll just realize that's gone. That's gone. It's one of the first things that happens. Goes. Imagine living a life, right? Imagine living a life now, yeah? Fear doesn't arise. Try and imagine it. No fear. None. Gone. The big one, fear of death. That's the big one. That's the big one. Like, that's like, yeah. Mind suppresses the shit out of that. Even when we're 70, 75, 80 years of age, we're still convinced we're going to live forever. It's not like we're planning our death. I've got a friend of mine that's 80 years of age. He's got a car that's done 160,000 kilometers. Yeah, it's a 10-year-old car. It's done 160,000 kilometers, and he's bent on getting that car to eventually be at 800,000 kilometers. That's his goal. That's his aim. I didn't have the heart to tell him that he's not going to, that body's not going to be here long enough for that to eventuate, but he's convinced he's going to get to 800,000 kilometers. All he does is drive to the backwards and forwards to the shop once every 3 or 4 days. 800,000, and he's kind of excited about it. It's a goal. Death. Funny concept, death. It's a concept, funny concept. Birth and death. But typical of a mind, because it works dualistically. Has to be a beginning and has to be an end, mind says. Why the hell should that be right? Really? Why the hell should that be right? It's wrong about everything else. Oh, but that one's right. After all, we are all born and we all die. And I sit here and say, there's no one there to die. Mine goes, what? What? We all die. If there's not a person there, how can it die? How can the person get reincarnated if there's not a person there? Oh, the next life, it's gonna. I'll get it next time around. At the moment of death, mind ceases and me disappears. Just like it does when you wake up in the morning from a dream, the me in the dream. You wake up and it's gone. Thoughts just stop. That's all. Thoughts just stop. Now, this that's aware, this that's conscious, this no thingness doesn't die and it was never born. That sounds pretty good. But it becomes a direct knowing, absolute knowing. That's why fear leaves. It leaves. It's absurd. Fear is such an absurd dualistic creation created by mind. The consciousness that seems to arise here and the consciousness that seems to arise there, notice I said seems, is the same consciousness. So for this body to drop makes no difference to consciousness. Zero. All that drops is the personal me story, which is thoughts. And you're not that. You're conscious of that. You just don't know what this is yet. Why? Because we keep taking it to be me. That's why I keep trying to dismantle this belief, this me. What is it? What is it really? Can it really see? Is it the me that's aware of thoughts? Or is it just awareness of thoughts? Nothing to do with the me. In fact, aware of the me. The only difference between me and you guys is the mind there is saying there's a difference. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. I don't have anything you don't already have. I don't. I'm not anything that you're already not. Or are, rather. There's a knowing, there's a being, there's an awaring, there's a consciousness, there's an aliveness that is outside of mind. Outside of it. Stop living in there. Come out of there. Come out of there. Come and smell a rose. Come and look at a beautiful blue sky. You're seeing it for the first time. You'd be seeing it for the first time. Experiencing it for the first time. Outside of mind. Then everything, constantly, is for the first time. It's always fresh and brand new. Every microsecond, everything is just fresh. Constantly, brand new, constantly. My gaze will go from a plant there that I can see over to a lamp there, back to the plant, brand new, fresh. Now look what the mind does with stuff like that. It doesn't really even register it. Mind's living within itself. Don't want. It's new. The moment doesn't go into a past. There's nowhere. No, it's just always now. Now. Fresh now. Now. Or, it's just on. On. Even saying now, it sounds like it's a different place from the past and the future. So even the word now is inaccurate. It really is. Because mind will grab a hold of that and go, okay, yeah, I'm in the past too much. I now need to try and learn to live in the now. And, I'm going to practice mindfulness. And I'm just going to... You've got to laugh. Got to laugh. Oh, dear. There is no past and no future. It's always just now. Now. See. See. Know for yourself from seeing that what's being said here is true. I'm not saying believe me. I'm saying look for yourself. Look for yourself. As soon as I say believe me, we could create a religion around that. Believe me. I don't want you to have the experience. I just want you to believe me. Oh, yes, Master. And that's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah. Oh, the Messiah said, let's worship the Messiah. I don't have anything you don't already have. I don't. Just need to get you to see that. Where am I right now? Here. Here. What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? Seriously. What's wrong with right now if there is no thinking about right now? What's wrong? What would be happening right now? There's no thinking about right now. What then would be happening? It's this beingness that gets overlooked, completely overlooked. And yet it's your direct experience. Direct. We just have to remove the illusion that it's me that's being. That's all. That's all. Beautiful, profound being right now. Being. From which seeing is occurring. Hearing, tasting, touching, smelling is occurring. Here. Here. And then from here, just watch the mind making up stories about this, or about this that is even being heard right now. Just watch the mind making up little concepts and stories. And, oh, I wish I could get what he's talking about. Wish I could really experience what it is he's talking about. Mind will say. Just watch it. You'd be watching it from here. Just watch that happening. Eventually, the mind will have no more significance to you as clouds floating by in the sky. None. In fact, you'll enjoy the clouds floating by in the sky. It appears to move. Mind appears to move. The thoughts, and this is happening. And yeah. So to a leaves rustling on a tree in the breeze, that's just happening too. Just happening. Yet somehow we feel we're the doer of thoughts. It's happening just like everything else is just happening. Why is it we can see, even intellectually we can see everything else. Yeah, it's just happening. Whatever it is. Blade of grass growing, a tsunami, a volcano, an eclipse of the sun, seasons coming and going, Earth revolving around the sun, a solar system. Like, we see the evidence. Everything else is just happening. Yet we refuse to see that thoughts are just happening. And they are. And they have as much significance as the clouds that are just happening, moving in the sky. Leaves moving on a branch. There's a wondrous, beautiful world here. And we're forgoing that, having all the attention focused on the mind. Missing it. We're missing it. God, no one said anything. I've been babbling for an hour and 12 minutes. That just happened. All right, come on, what's happening? What's happening? It's all just happening, isn't it? And this, if I can even call it this that comes to know that and see that, is not the me and is not the mind. I sometimes say it's you. But I know people can interpret that as they're me. Two things going on. One's real and one's false. There's you sitting there, right here, right now. And there's a me that gets manufactured by the mind. That's false. You cannot say this is false. You can't. I don't exist. Really? You'd have to be there to say that. So what is it that's existing? Oh, me. No. No. Unravel that. Unravel it. The mere fact that you can see it, that's the dead giveaway. Then we need to see this close, and it sits so close it gets overlooked all the time. We need to see this, it's so close, this personal me, I, me. Little pipe and say, yeah, I'm making progress because I can now see that thoughts just happen. A thought just said that. Not the me. It's labeled the me, but it's just a thought that arises. See that. When a question arises in the mind and you think it's you pondering the question, see that it's just a thought pondering a thought. You're not in there. You're not in there. And this me that's being manufactured by mind, it's got nothing to do with you. Stop taking it personally. Nothing to do with you. Zero. You that's here, that's right here. Nothing to do with you. You can witness that. that can be known. Who would have ever thought that just by being, thoughts would stop? Who would have ever thought that? Just being. Thoughts stop. See, in that pure being, there's no duality. And it's direct experience. It's direct. There's no duality. In the pure being, the pure presence, the pure I amness, the pure here-ness, there's no duality in it. What's the name of this teaching? Non-duality. You're already that. It's been taking yourself to be something else our whole life. It's a nightmare in there because it's dualistic, which means both ends of the scale operate in here. Love and hate. Fear. All manufactured by that. I was born, I will die. I adore this person. Oh, but that person over there, I can't stand them. There's the duality. Yeah. There it is. Neither are correct. Neither points are correct.
And then we find out we are them.
Yep. and it's that beingness that we find out. It's the being. It's not, look, the beingness can only recognize beingness. Love can only recognize love. Consciousness can only recognize consciousness. The split disappears. You don't see a person as a person. You don't see them as an individual. You're seen as self, experienced as self. Imagine the compassion that would arise in you, the love that would arise in you. Imagine. Not separate. The seeing that's happening there and the seeing that's happening here is the same seeing. It's the one seeing. The consciousness that's there and the consciousness that's here. Even to say that is wrong, like there and here is wrong. It's the same consciousness. When that fully dawns, the idea of death is laughable. Laughable. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. One body drops because of old age or whatever. It makes no difference to consciousness. None. None. Unless the mind isolates it and go, yeah, but this is my consciousness. Really? Really? Mind's going to step in and own consciousness. It doesn't even know what consciousness is. It's going to own it. It's mine. To come to see what it is I keep pointing at. You must come to see what you're not. It's the only way. You must come to see what you're not. You must. It won't stand up to investigation, I promise you. It won't. Investigate it. See what you're not. The only thing that can see what you're not is the truth. The false can't see the truth, doesn't even recognize it, wouldn't even know what truth was. No idea. So difficult talking about this because we have to use language, and language is dualistic. It's dualistic. That we actually are, not that there's a person that is something, right? But that we actually are cannot be talked about. Anything that's said about it is going to be from the realm of dualistic language. Therefore, it can't be it. It's just going to be a description of, and wouldn't matter how accurate the description was, the description is not it. It can't touch it. It can't reach it. Mind can't touch it. Mind can't reach it. Mind can't experience it. It can't. It's dualistic. Mind's very nature is to operate dualistically. It can't experience non-dual. That's why the mind stops in the non-dual state. It's not even a state, but stops. Can't arise. Because it's not non-dual. See, if I start to get really sharp with words, yeah, then we start to say things like, there's no one there to get anything. It's hopeless. Don't even try. It's useless. Absolutely useless. You trying to do anything is a complete and utter waste of time. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to know. There's nowhere to arrive. And all of that is true. Yeah. That's when it starts to get a bit sharper. Nothing to gain. Nowhere to arrive. No one to know. At best, everything is just happening. And all of that's true. But you'll arrive there yourself. I don't have to be saying that. I could. There are teachers out there that say that. Like they take no hostages. No hostages. None. Why do I come to these satsangs? I don't know. It's a waste of time. It's nothing you can get or do or realize or come to know. Yeah, but you must have done something. No, everything just happens. I didn't do anything. There's no I or me here to do anything. Is there some sort of practice I can? No, nothing. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. And all that would be true. No hostages there. Waste of time even trying. No point. Give up. You can't get anything. You can't find anything. It's true. Well, and all of those statements would be referring to this personal me that believes it's here. You're going to find nothing. So why even bother? It's true. It's true. There is no me to awaken. There is no me to discover anything. It's not the me that's sitting here right now. Yet they're sitting here right now. Conscious, aware, alive. Alive. And the reason, sometimes those kind of pointers can sound harsh. Well, they'll only sound harsh if the person is still taking themselves to be a me. That'll sound harsh. What did I even turn up at this satsang for? Don't know. There's nothing to get, which is a true statement. There's nothing to get. That you're looking for, you already are, which means there's nothing to get. Yeah. Hey, across this plants and leaves and branches and everything. Yeah, it's gorgeous. How is everybody? Ursula? You need to unmute.
There.
There you go.
Everything. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you said was so beautiful. There were times when I wanted to speak, but I knew the words would just pull me out. But everything you said was just so beautiful. It's just going in.
Beautiful.
It was just so lovely. The whole satsang, really lovely.
Beautiful. That's seeing.
Mm. It's just like truth after truth after truth. And then questions arose, but then as soon as I started to formulate thoughts in the mind, it was kind of taking me out. So I just dropped it and I just wanted to be there present with what you were saying. Yeah. So beautiful. Thank you.
How are you, Kelly?
Really good. I enjoyed it very much.
You are really good. Always have been. Perfect. Perfection. Perfect. Only mind has been saying otherwise. Just that's the truth. It's the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. Never has been. Ever. Nothing wrong with you. Thanks, Kelly. How are you, Zoe? Blue light disco lady.
Yeah. Yeah, just enjoying soaking it in.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Like Ursula said, there was a couple of times when I was going to say something, but it was that moment passed. It just, but yeah, it was just this space of peace and no need to
The truth will do that.
move or say or do anything. Yeah. So
The truth will do that.
yeah.
Good, thanks. Livy.
Yeah, thanks for all the talking.
I talked a bit today, didn't I?
Yay, it was great. Yeah, good. Especially you kept getting deeper and deeper. It was great. Yeah.
Did I? I don't know where I went. Beautiful. Mark. How's my mark?
Oh, yeah, good. Thanks, Terry. Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You track with all that?
Oh, yeah. It's always wonderful to hear the truth.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, it's only the truth that can hear it. It's only the truth that can hear it. The mind can't hear it. So that it'll be the mind that throws up objections. Just a minute. What? He just said what? That can't be. Truth doesn't object to anything. There's just a knowing. Okay. Thank you, guys. I've gone over a little bit.